Welcome to the Transfer Exchange Show. We're back. And it wasn't quite the Hollywood-style finish we was hoping for. More Nollywood than Hollywood. It was more B movie than A movie. Z-led, Z-list celeb, not A-list. Arsenal draw 0-0 against a Villarreal side in the Europa League, which means they go crashing out at the semi-final stage. One step further than last season, but didn't really feel like it made a difference. Jerome, since you're next to me right now. Oh, welcome. Sorry. Welcome, everyone. Jerome.
Hello. Good evening. Good evening.
How are you feeling?
Oh, like empty. I sort of can't believe it's happened. Like, I know we weren't going into the game super confident, but now like the realization set in, like that's it, we're out. When we looked at the team beforehand, we thought that's quite an attacking team, like on paper. Thought there'd be plenty of goals for us in it, and I guess that just goes to show that the team on paper is different to how it actually works out on the pitch, because our forward players tonight, just the whole team, just from back to front, just what every week we seem to say, oh, it's one of the worst performances of the season. And some of those players look so nervous, like it was like a bit awkward to watch some of it, to be honest. There's unfortunately sometimes you can take positives out of games, but at the moment it just feels very you feel very down about the whole thing. And now obviously there's going to be questions about the manager, about certain players, and it ain't gonna, the next 24 hours ain't going to be pretty online, and it needs people to sort of take a step back a bit and think with their heads a bit, because obviously at the moment emotions running high, and it's a shame how we've ended up like this. But I think I said it like at the beginning of the season, they needed to really blow up a lot of the playing squad, and not doing that hasn't helped. And it's where we are now. And if Arteta had a big job beforehand, or the Arsenal hierarchy had a big job beforehand, the job's just been made 10 times bigger. And I don't know what the next step is, to be honest. But to answer your question, Kieran, just feeling a bit low at the moment, and I don't know what the answer is at the moment, but we'll soon find out.
All right. So, Steve, I'm sure you've got a lot to say.
Try to keep calm.
First of all, I missed the for anyone that missed the preview. What was your feeling before the game?
The feeling before the game was that that we was going to go out and attack. I was quite happy with that. With the team that he picked, we was happy that Xhaka was at left back. We was happy that Partey was playing in that pivot. But we was worried about the fact that we had all these attacking players, which would leave holes and would make it in the end just too comfortable for Villarreal. And in the end, that's what happened. We expected, with players like Odegaard on the pitch and Aubameyang on the pitch and Saka and Emil Smith-Rowe on the pitch, and we just expected Arsenal to just fly out the blocks, just go for goals, and it just never even started.
So
it never went off, never started.
So give us your analysis of the game then, and let's see the comparison.
My analysis of the game:
How are you feeling?
angry, upset, disappointed, lost. And I think those 4 words just sums up Arsenal Football Club, and I think it sums up every Arsenal fan after tonight's performance, because it just makes you wonder where you're going to go. We've come up with so many different scenarios on what we should do and who we should play and who should come in, and it just nothing seems to ever change. I think tonight's game, before we go into it, was so important for Arsenal. We've stated before that if we didn't win tonight, it was unlikely we was going to be in Europe this season, which would make our money even less, and especially for attracting players, it wouldn't happen. So, where we're going to go next season, I have no idea. But I just feel like Jerome does, just empty. I can't believe the performance tonight. I'm trying to think of a performance like that, and I can't. I think the players were, apart from I would say 2 players, were awful tonight. I think it proved tonight that some of our kids are not ready, or they're not at that level we think they are.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not to say they're bad players, and that's not to say they won't be the real deal. But they was lost tonight. They was scared tonight. They was making silly mistakes tonight. And when you get to a big games like this, it's sort of a test for them. I thought Emil Smith Rowe did well. I thought he played well. I thought he did well. But it's really hard. I thought when he come on the second half, yeah, I did, because when he come on the second half, he was running at players. He was skipping past players, and the commentator started calling him. He said that of the Croydon and De Bruyne are starting to tick. And he was. I mean, he wasn't like amazing, but he was that little bit better than. I mean, Saka give the ball away time after time after time again, doing stupid tackles. I mean, even when Martinelli come on, right? Stupid tackles they're giving away. You know, pulling people down with 4 minutes to go. But these are young kids. Do you know what I mean? They're learning the game. These will be good players for Arsenal, great players for Arsenal one day. So I'm just picking like tonight. And we've said for a long while that it's not fair for them to carry the burden. It's not fair for these players, these young Arsenal players, to go into a semi-final of a European Cup competition, and for us to rely on these players. It's not fair. It's not right. And then the players who are around him, who you think would help them, don't. And they're just lost. And yeah, I mean, the game was awful. The game, it was like they started out and they just never got going. Do you know what? It was tonight. It was pathetic, actually. It was absolutely pathetic. We had 2 shots on target the whole match when we needed a goal to score and we needed to attack. I don't remember one period of decent attacking until probably the last 10 minutes. It was awful, Kieran. Yeah. Absolutely awful. I could go through player by player and I could pick players out. I'll leave that to you and Jerome to do. But some things have got to be said. And yeah, I leave just disappointed and gutted and very, very not. I'm never ashamed of Arsenal Football Club, but for a big semi-final like tonight, that was disgusting. And just one thing I want to say as well. I don't think I think Arteta picked the right team tonight. I don't think he picked the wrong team. We said in a preview that it was the only way we could go, and we was quite happy with the team he picked. But the players, they're just not good enough. They've not been good enough for Arteta. They've not been good enough for Emery. They've not been good enough for Lundberg, and they wasn't good enough for Wenger. So this ain't nothing to do with a manager change, because if another manager, it doesn't matter what manager come in. You could have Guardiola come in. There's nothing going to change at Arsenal.
Yeah, Jerome. So, what happened to the players? Do you think? What was your feeling with the players in terms of how they played? Who do you think there's any shining lights? Do you not shining lights, but do you think anyone put in a performance worthy of a semi-final?
No, I think it was a mistake to Tierney. Was obviously not fit, and I know we all love him. He's a brilliant left back, but I'd rather, if someone isn't fit, they shouldn't start the game. So I think that was a mistake, bringing him in, because it was obvious. When Tierney's not fit, you haven't got Kieran Tierney on the pitch. You've got another player. You haven't got all his great attributes. You can't use them when he's not fit. So what's the point? Bellerin, I've never seen such a sharp decline in a player as what has happened to Bellerin. Like, honestly, I can't think of anyone else that has regressed so much as him. And, the trouble for Arteta is he doesn't know his best team. He don't know his best centre-back partnership. Like, what chance have you got trying to build a decent team if every week you're chopping and changing it? It never, ever, ever going to work. Any shining lights? No, there's no shining lights from today's game. I thought there were parts of the second half where Smith Rowe tried to drive the team forward a bit. Tried to take some responsibility. Saka as well a little bit. Partey, he had a stinker. This isn't the Thomas Partey that has played at Atletico Madrid. There's something's going on there, because this is a different player. Aubameyang, me and Steve said before, like, he didn't have to play amazing, but he had to take it. If he got a chance, he had to take it, and he was unlucky. He was unlucky with that header. The playing out from the back I've lost all my nails from biting them. They just put you on edge. There was a couple of moments with Holding and Leno. With hindsight, maybe that midfield. I mean, he's no good, El Nene, but we've got no one else. Odegaard was non-existent. I'm afraid it's back to the drawing board. And I've said it before, that the manager, whoever's in charge, has got to be proper ruthless with this squad of players.
Is this squad good enough? Did they deserve to go through in any way, shape, or form?
No, this is I've said it before. I'm sorry for repeating myself. This is a squad full of squad players. That's what it is. Holding, squad player. Marie, squad. You go through the whole team. They're all squad players. And I'm not going to say it's the best thing to happen to us to get knocked out, but at least not a few of us can see that the players aren't good enough. Now everyone can see, like, you shouldn't be getting knocked. If you've got any ambition, you should not be getting knocked out to Villarreal, because if Villarreal were in the Premier League, God knows where they'd finish. And I think Steve alluded to it earlier. I think we had 2 shots on something silly like 2 shots on target in both games. 2 games, 2 shots on target. And this is against an Emery team. When Emery was manager of Arsenal, I think Watford had like 30 odd shots one game against us.
So there's something fundamentally wrong, and it's the same batch of players.
if you keep giving these players, if you give them renewed contract, extend their contracts, send a couple of people out on loan who you're not sure about. No, you need to be ruthless. You need to make decisions. If you don't make the decent decisions, it's only going to get worse. And I said when we were doing our predictions at the beginning of the season, when Nathan was on, and I said we're going to finish. I think last season we finished 8th, and I said we'll finish lower than we did last season. And he sort of laughed because he probably thought Arsenal aren't going to finish below 8th, but I could see it coming. And I'm sorry to be so negative, but that is the truth. And now people can see it for themselves.
Well, Steve, same question. Is this team good enough?
No, it's not good enough. It won't be good. If you sack Arteta, which I don't believe we should, if I thought you could sack Arteta and bring someone else in and he would change the team, then I'd say so. Yeah, then I'd think yeah. But I know that's not going to happen. So Arteta might as well stay and see if he can get some money and bring some of his own players in and then go from there. But the team's not good enough. It's not been good enough for a long while. The squad's bare. It's inexperienced. It's bitty. It's messy. Jerome alluded to the fact that Arteta doesn't know his full team, doesn't know his proper team. Kieran, I don't know it. I don't know what I don't know. I mean, we've all played football at a level, the three of us here, right? Mm-hmm. And you would have thought that Arsenal could pick, the three of us could pick our best team and say that's Arsenal's best team. I can't do it. I won't have a clue what Arsenal's best team is. And I think that's the problem that Arteta has. I think he has the problem. He keeps changing it due to the fact that he's got them baffled. He's got them stumped because they're all of the same level, which is average. There's no player that even Gabriel is a little bit above, but he's not ladders above. Yeah, Louise we missed massively tonight. Again at the back, he would have, but then again that would have made no difference. You've got to look at the front players tonight. You've got to look at the front players. You've got to look at the midfield going forward, and you've got to look at the people up front. And it's just not good enough. It's all over the pitch. It's not good enough. In every single area, it's not good enough. Right back, Jerome mentioned Bellerin. Yeah. At the left back, we're just, Tierney seems he's made of glass, and we have to keep making this bit here, square pegs in round holes. In the midfield, we haven't got one. We haven't got a midfield. The best midfield is when Xhaka and Partey are playing together, and that's not amazing. That's not going to get us to the Champions League. And again, the same as well. I agree with what Jerome said. There's something wrong with Thomas Partey. I just don't know what the hell's going on there. I mean, he is. Do you know what? He don't look bothered. When you just kick the ball anywhere or you do a foul. Two fouls he did outside the box. You think, what are you doing? Why are you fouling someone there? You're thinking like, what's going on? Where's your gameplay? Don't you know not to bring? You go to school when you're 5, 6 years old.
He's played in the Spanish league for years. That's that type of football. That's why they did it against us. That's why they did it against Arsenal. That's why they did it.
Kieran, sorry. What are your thoughts? What are your overall thoughts on the game and everything?
Well, tonight showed exactly why you shouldn't have young, inexperienced kids as your main players playing week in, week out and relying on them. Because, as you both said, they were scared. I think, okay, Emil Smith-Rowe push forward, but can we say that's 10% of what Emil Smith Rowe can do? What he did tonight. That's a very, very poor Arsenal, and we've taken Briggs and Sprogs and said that, and deep down inside, if you watch that game again, I think you look at Emil Smith Rowe and just think, actually, on comparison, because him, Bellerin, Partey, Pepe was not really on it. I mean, he wasn't terrible, but he just weren't like it's not about money. Pepe's a good player, but it weren't. Anyone could have done that. Willian looked good when he came on. That's the first time I've ever seen Willian in an Arsenal shirt run at players, and that's I mean that genuinely. He ran at players with pace. He did that. Martinelli, like, you've asked him to come into a game where Arsenal are flat and try and bring it to light. Saka, it shows that he ain't there. He's a top draw player and will be, if he carries on his trajectory with his talent, world class. He will be, without a doubt. But we shouldn't be relying on him. We shouldn't be, he's not in the team. Yeah, there's no Saka. It should not be that. It should be that. Saka should be fighting for a place in the team with someone better than him. And then when he does get him out on merit, then it shows how good Saka is. Then it's boom. Look at how we used to do it. Ashley Cole didn't come in because he was good, and he pushed out Silvinho. Like all these players, then they come in. Phil Foden didn't come straight into the team. Yeah, everyone's week in, week out. Why ain't Phil playing? Why ain't Foden playing? He's got to leave if he don't play. He's got to earn his place. He's got to earn his shirt. That's what he's got to do. And these players, and it's not anything on how they are or how they are as professionals, it's because the club has put them in the situation they're not having to earn their shirt. It's just, he's injured. There's no one else. Oh, he's injured. Like, how can we genuinely say, like genuinely, and this is nothing against Granit Xhaka or anything like that, how can we turn around and say, as a team that is serious about, because when you're talking about top four, you don't talk about it's not top four, it's challenging for the title. Because any of them teams challenging for top four are challenging for the title. Man United, Liverpool, Manchester City, and Chelsea, they're not top four. They're not going for top four. They're going for the title. The title. So if you're going for the top four, you're going for the league. None of these players are good enough on form or ability to push us for a title challenge. You ain't getting in that top four unless you're going for the league. Straight facts. You ain't. Because you're not getting past Chelsea. You're not getting past and then you've got teams like Tottenham and we try and take the mick out of. How can we have the audacity to hold our head up and try and mug off Tottenham? We might as well have gone out against Zagreb 2 rounds ago. What's the point? Because we didn't. It weren't about trying tonight. It's about fear. It was about worrying about making a mistake. There was speaking to my mates earlier, and one of them said about, Thomas Partey's passing across players. I was like, no, we've got to take risks. We have to take risks. Thomas Partey wasn't good, but there weren't many players that were trying to take risks with their pass. Everything was do. You've got to take risks in this game. Because if you ain't going to take risks, you're going to plod along, which has been our season, not willing to take risks. And when we go for it, surprise, surprise, we look good, we look half decent. But for some reason, we play nervous. We play scared. Why are we scared? Because we don't believe in ourselves. We don't believe in the players that are around us. Because half of them are good and half deep down inside are probably thinking, maybe we ain't there. We ain't there. They're looking around, they're looking at their talisman, he ain't on it. If you're 35 goal plus a season, man ain't on it, at any game, whatever problem Aubameyang has, this ain't about Aubameyang. I could talk about Rashford, I could talk about Aguero, Man City is a different league. Salah, if your top goal scorer ain't on it, ain't playing well and ain't scoring goals, you're looking around and thinking, what are we doing now? We're Arsenal are in serious trouble. Josh Kroenke wants to turn around and say, yeah, no, I'm going to do something. What? Because this is going to take major surgery. I don't want to hear any talk about signing so and so up on an extra year. When I heard about the Rob Holding contract extension, I didn't have any gripes about that, because I see Rob Holding as a good fourth choice centre back, good third choice, not starting every week, not captain's armband, like, and that's no slight on the man, because he could be a captain for a team, but not Arsenal. He should be the main centre back. That shows where we are. And that's why we're getting knocked out against the Villarreal that didn't come out of second gear. Didn't come out of second gear tonight. We were flat. It was horrible to watch. I felt sick with 20 minutes to go, and that was a wasted emotion. Pointless, because they didn't do anything. We literally didn't do anything. And even the last few kicks and the last few tries and punts in the box, that epitomised exactly how that game was. The Lacazette chance with this, not Lacazette chance, he won his chance, but when Lacazette was around the ball and he couldn't turn it, and it was, and that was us. That was us. Yeah. And that's been us all season. That's my feeling on it.
Yeah.
So let's read a question.
But
go on, Steve, quickly. I want to read this one afterwards.
No, I was just going to say there was something you were saying about Martinelli when you started. I mean, again, I just want to go back to the fact that these kids ain't ready. I mean, there was a cross from Bellerin in the last minutes, and Lacazette's just about to swing at it, and Martinelli's pushed Lacazette out of the way, and Lacazette's nearly decked him. He's turned round, looked at him, and he's literally like wrestled him off the ball. And it just goes back to show just what you said again. It was something that stood out to me, and it was just one of these things that shows we've got too many kids. How many times on our shows or in my podcast, I keep saying we've got too many kids. Too many kids. You can't keep playing all these kids. And it'll come to a time where you'll go, we can't play. We've got too many kids. And you just mentioned Josh Kroenke. Look, back Arteta, or get out. Just go. Just get out. Because these protests will get worse. They will get worse. And it won't do no good, because there'll be silly ass protests, right? If you're not going to back us, just get out of the club. Go away. Go back and go back and play baseball. Go and play basketball in your stupid flipping non-go up, non-go down, and I got a hamburger and their stupid flipping fingers that they go in the air. Go. It's good, because this is football. This is football. This is passion. You hear us tonight. Absolutely gutted. They couldn't give an arse, these people. Sorry.
Yeah. From your info, where does the club go from here? Any updates on the ownership, change of management now that we're out? Saradif, come on, mate. It's been out of the cup for about on literally about an hour, half an hour. So no, mate. Was there a contingency plan in place? I knew this was going to happen. Well, it is what it is. It happened. It's one of those, laughed, Roman said last season, I hold my hands up. I always trust the marksman. Well, look at that. That is a glowing endorsement if ever I heard one.
Oh, that's fine.
What now? Just quickly. I want to get before half hour. What now? Jerome, you first. Hit me.
So I guess if it was up to me, I would keep the manager in charge. I'd try and make loads and loads of changes in the summer to the playing squad, and then because if they don't make lots of changes to the playing squad, nothing's going to change. So that's what I would do. I'd sell a lot. I'd sell a lot of these players that you can get money for. If you don't think they're right, sell them. And you got to roll the dice. I'm conscious of the time, Kieran, so I'll admit that.
Well done, Tram. Very good, very good, very good. Steve, just quickly.
Yeah, I agree with Jerome. I wouldn't say get rid of Arteta either for reasons I've already stated. I think where we go from here, the ball's got to back us. They've got to be given money. That's for one, but that won't happen. And also, Arteta and the coaching staff's got to be ruthless, very ruthless, and certain players in who's in the squad at the moment, many of them who play tonight, have got to be pulled into their office and say, "Do you want to play for Arsenal Football Club? Because if you don't, just go, with our blessing." Because I'm not going to name names, but some of them, because I'm not going to name names, but some of them going to need a talking to and to find out what the hell's going on. And do you want to play for Arsenal Football Club? And and we have to start from there. And if they don't, and they've got to get them out. They've got to start sifting players out. But the most important thing, the last thing, at the end of the day, it's coming back to the budget and whether players are going to want to come to us. It's all, this is where it's all based around. But be ruthless, have a word with players, get the ones out if they don't, tell them to go if they're not doing it, and just pray that we get a decent budget and players want to come to the club in the summer.
All right. So where do we go from here? It's easy to sack a manager. It gives the board more time because it will make them look proactive. Do I think that's the answer? No, I think the investment's the answer. I think you've got to bring in solid players, top quality players, and experienced players. Man, I'm not talking about end of the year, end of their lifespan kind of players. I'm talking about players in their prime. Do you know what I mean? Stop looking at. I saw a comment earlier on. 30 million. Yeah, someone said 30 million for a person who's turning 29 at the end of the month, or by the time the season starts next season. 30 million for Coutinho. And I'm like, well, he's not 45. And it's 30 million. Like if you can get Philippe Coutinho for 30 million, yeah, put that in Barcelona's hands now. Now, show some intent now. Say to Barcelona, he's ours. Go and get the shirts printed and get him signed up on a contract. Because he'd take a drop from that 300 grand a week, mate. I'll tell you that, because he ain't playing nothing, and it's us or Everton. Now, I mean, they're in a better position than us. But come on, do the business. Do the business. There's plenty of players out there, experienced players to get in at Arsenal to beef up this team, because it's all over the place. Move players on that have been here too long. Some even that are still good. Move them on, because it's just not working. You know what I mean? Don't give Lacazette a new contract. There's murmurs of that. Don't give David Luiz an extra year. Go out and get a player. You've seen what that David Luiz can do. He's a good player, but he's another year on from the year on that we was only meant to have him for 1 year. As I said the other day, you signed him up for 3 years. You bought a player there because his contract is so big, because he's signing 1 year deals. That's bad business. So don't look at me and talk to me about the Kroenkes of businessmen. They ain't. They put money into something. They're letting it rise up slowly in terms of the beefiness of how much Arsenal have cost from what he bought it at to what he's going to sell it at. But the individual bits and bobs, he's not interested in. So yeah, it needs a lot of change. Arsenal, as I said in my end of season video 2 years ago, you can pull it up. It was the one I spoke at the final game with Aaron Ramsey. That final game, I left a video and said, I worry about this club and where it's going. And 2 years on, it's in an absolute mess. An absolute mess. And it's no surprise. To be honest, we're Arsenal fans, and we thought with this game we were optimistic, and because that's what fans think. Do you know what I mean? Come on, like we should be going into games and thinking, "Oh, we're going to lose," and like, come on, we had that extra bit of hope. But deep down inside, were you surprised after that performance? I can't say I wasn't, because it wasn't any different from the first performance. It wasn't. It wasn't any worse. It wasn't any better. We were lucky to score in that first game. So yeah. Yeah, Jobin's up. Nice to see you there, man.
Yeah.
Make sure everyone hits the like and subscribe button. Didn't say it earlier on. I'm seeing some new faces in here. Jobin, hit the like and subscribe, man. We're all hurting, brother. Thank you to everyone who joined us tonight. Joseph, Saradif, love top comments there, man. As you said there, Sheldon, new face. Toon, new face. New face there. Love that. Love the new faces. So make sure you hit the like and subscribe, people. Thank you for joining us, guys. Thanks for joining us, Steve and Jerome. Sorry, I didn't do that.
Thanks.
All right, peace out, people.
Cheers.
Peace out, people. Stay safe.